working through it. So, okay, so 451. But we do need to pick up the pace. I think we are about a week behind at this point. So we got a drawing that looks something like this. And we've got a 7 kip force here. Got a 9 kip here. We've got a 9 out here somewhere. We've got a 6 kip right underneath that. And you know me, I like to put them all in there. And we've got an 8 kip here. Now we're saying that BX is BX and BY, so that means it's pinned right there, right? So there's BY. BX, I'm saying, is that. Now why am I saying that's that? Well, we got a 7 kip force here pushing to the right, correct? So the only thing that could be pushing to the left is BX. Then we're saying that AY is probably pushing up. AX is a roller, right? So we know that to be 0. Then we got some distances. From here we've got 12 feet. Bless you. 12 feet. 12 feet. Up here we've got 10 feet. That's all we got going on, right? So let's do a sum of the forces in the X. See if we can get that all on there. So if we do a sum of the forces in the X equals 0, we get 7 kips going to the right, so it's positive, minus BX because it's going to the left. Therefore BX equals 7 kips to the right, or excuse me, to the left. We said it was going to the left, it came in a positive value, so it is. Easy peasy, right? Sum of the forces into Y. You got the AY going up, minus 6 kips, minus 9 right above it, right? That's 9 kips. Again, I don't like to combine all those. Minus 8 kips, minus 9 above it, plus BY. 2 unknowns, so we move on. And again, I did my moment about point A, but I'm going to do it about point B again to try to get, well, actually it won't matter because BX is going through point A, isn't it? So since it's not offset, it really doesn't matter on this one. So I'll stick with my A. So I got 9 kips up there in this area. That's making it go clockwise, which is negative. 9 kips, 12 feet, right? 6 kips doing the same thing, minus 6.
You couldn't combine those, could you?
You what?
You couldn't combine them?
You could or couldn't?
I'm saying you could or no?
Yeah, I think you could. Well, think about it. 9 times 12 and 6 plus 12 ought to be the same, right? So, do what?
Shouldn't it be a positive 6?
Nope.
Okay.
This 6 right here is making this thing a relative to point A. It's making it go clockwise, which is negative. Okay? But yeah, you could combine those. I just don't like to do that. I'm not a big shortcut guy. And we talked about that the other day. I'm just not. You could do the same thing with the 8 and the 9. Yeah. I think 9 plus 6 times 12 would be the same thing as 9 times 12 plus 6 times 12. Back in my old days of math, I think that was the case. I just don't like to do it. I'm just old school and stubborn. You know, what can I say? Minus 8 kips times 24 minus 9 kips, which is right above it, times 24. And the other part of that, Mark, is I think if you do that, you might have a tendency to lose where the distance is coming from, potentially. I don't know. It just makes me nervous. Then let's see, we could go with the 7 kips minus 7 kips, right? It's making it go clockwise. That's the one up at the top on the x-axis, times 10 feet, right? That's this one right here. You have to account for that too, right? Because it would make point A spin. And then finally by times 36. And it's making it go counterclockwise, which is positive. I was doing so well. If I push my hand down too far on this pad, it gets carried away. So by stays where it's at. So it's 36 by equals all of this mess, and I didn't do that. So I don't know what that actually 36 times 18.3 or whatever that is. I'm just going to put a question mark there. By equals 18.3 kips. We said it was going up. It came out a positive value, so it is going up. Okay, Anthony, you okay on that? It was all of this stuff right here. It all goes to the other side of the equation, becomes positive, and then you take all of that and divide it by 36 to get this.
Yeah, 658.8.
658.8.
Yeah, 0.8. Yep.
And that's actually kips feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is kips feet. This is the kips, and this is the feet. Then you divide by 36 feet, and you're left with kips. Josh?
Why do you have the 7 in there since it's on the x-axis?
Well, it's only x-axis when you're dealing with the x, but when you think about this in terms of what makes it spin, okay? Now remember, this is all, as far as we're concerned, this is all one big block,
Yeah.
and it's pinned right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what forces make this thing spin? Well, these make it spin, these make it spin, this one counteracts the spin, but this one also would make it spin. Even though it's on the x-axis, it's far enough away, it's got a distance of 10. If it doesn't have a distance, it wouldn't make it spin. But it does have a distance. So the force times the distance makes it spin.
Okay.
Okay? So again, if you took that force and moved it out here, okay, and put it right here instead, and tied it right to it, then you would see where it would spin, wouldn't you?
Okay.
All right? Yes, and that's very important that you remember all of those forces, because your numbers will come out wrong. Of course, the only good thing about that is if you leave that out, you only miss a couple of points. If you list all your work, you'll just lose a couple of points, and that's not going to hurt you too bad. Okay? And then that would also screw up your answer right here, right?
Yeah.
But that's not going to cost you up here. It'll cost you a little bit, but not a lot.
Right.
So we put that right there, 18.3 kips. Is it getting close? So AY stays where it's at. These all move to the other side of the equation, become positive. This one becomes negative. AY should turn out to be 13.7 kips. We said it was going up. It came out a positive value. So it is going up. Yeah, our time is up, isn't it? So what we still have, was that the last problem? Perfect. Okay, so any questions on this? I don't want to rush you off. I don't have to be anywhere right now. I mean, if you have to go and you want to go, go. But if you have a question, be a good time to ask. Okay, I'm going to stop.